AskReddit by Kent James. How do you effectively overcome being an introvert? I don't see being an introvert as a bad thing, to be honest. Just work on things like small talk and you'll be fine. It's not a bad thing at all. Too many people just use it as a synonym for social anxiety. You can be an introvert without social anxiety. Or, ever heard about people who are desperate for social interaction but unable to follow through? Decently likely to be extroverts with social anxiety. Don't, it's not a shortcoming. My sister, psychology student, told me being introverted is a way of being and you never overcome it. You gotta work with your body and what it needs. Denying your nature and going against it won't help you in the long run but make you feel drained and miserable. Being shy, however, is a trait that mellows over time. It does get a little better the older you get and the more you have to get out of your comfort zone, but you will never be an outgoing social butterfly. People are built different. There's a common misconception that introverts need to be overcome. Introversion is a natural personality trait, and introverts can be highly successful and fulfilled people. However, if you find that your introversion is sometimes a hurdle you'd like to manage more effectively, here are some approaches. Reframe your thinking. Strength, not weakness. Introversion comes with strengths like excellent listening skills, deep thinking, and a focus on quality interactions. Embrace these strengths. Social energy battery. Think of socializing as using up your social energy. Introverts recharge alone. Accept that you might need more alone time than extroverts. I never did. My professionalism kicks in when I work, then I revert to myself when I'm alone. You don't. It's not a disorder, so there is nothing to overcome. If the question is how you survive as an introvert in a loud world, the book Quiet really helped me with so much. I saw that introverts can be just as successful in life, like Obama and Steve Jobs, and that we have superpowers, like being more observant because we're not talking all the time. When reading through these comments, it seems to me that a lot of people equate introversion with social anxiety awkwardness, hence the advice is about exposure and practice. Being an introvert isn't really something you overcome, you just have to accept it. I'm introvert, and I'm great at talking to people. I work with new people every day, I regularly small talk with strangers, but still, I'm introvert. Being introvert isn't the same as not functioning in social situations. It's just not something I do for fun as often as a lot of other people. Turning yourself inside out? I don't think that's generally advisable though. Introversion is not something to be overcome. Social anxiety? Shyness? Maybe. But those are not introversion, however much they may overlap. You don't. If you try you will get burnt out. Accept being an introvert and use it as your style. Be the samurai. There is a difference between being insecure and being introverted. For the things that you are insecure about, think about what about them makes you insecure. Try to find the core issue and attack it. Horror movies aren't so scary once you see the monster. For introversion you might just like having your own space. This isn't a bad thing. You gain your energy internally while extroverts gain it by interacting with the world around them. I meditate and use the focus in my daily life. I'm quiet but I believe I am an exceptionally strong person. I see being loud as just needing to be heard. You don't need attention to beat anyone. You can just go and beat them. Sometimes you'll be weird. Make them want to be weird instead of trying to be like them. The answer is not to overcome, but to embrace it. Okay, Mr. Miyagi. Introvert here. You can't. I overcame my shyness. But being an introvert is just how a person is hardwired. I can do public speaking now, but I will always be an introvert and I will always need downtime away from people to recharge. Yes, I can socialize with some people for a while, but a big crowd stresses me out and I can only spend so much time in a crowd. Also, introversion and extroversion are not little boxes, it's more of a spectrum. Some people are right in the middle. Edit. There is certainly room for edge cases where people can change. I just have no evidence how common it is. Be fine with who you are. That's what really matters. This is a great answer. I don't mind socializing, but I feel exhausted afterwards and I need the downtime to recharge. Depends on how much value that thing has to me. If it's worth getting out of my comfort zone, I'll do it. You have to, bro. www.psychologytoday.com/us/blog/the-gen-y-guide/201710//the-majority-people-or-extroverts. The vast majority of people are neither an introvert nor extrovert but have traits of both, and it depends on the setting they are in which they lean more towards. Think about it. Do you behave the same around your family and close friends as you do in a room full of strangers? Probably not. Anyway, if you do think you are the minority, there's actionable advice in the article above. Mostly if you tell yourself you're an introvert, you'll behave like one. If you open yourself up to be an ambivert, you'll likely be less introverted. The advice is simple. That doesn't make it easy. Even though I am an introvert, I force myself into community environments that will help me achieve my interests and future dreams. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but finding small victories in social situations, setting boundaries, and honoring your need for alone time can help introverts thrive. It's about finding what works for you. You can't. It's literally embedded in your DNA. The best you can do is to learn how to navigate it. Get out and talk to people. People scare me. Is it over for me? Lots of introspection. Introvert people often have qualities that make them great networkers, such as listening, empathy, curiosity, and authenticity. Instead of focusing on your weaknesses or comparing yourself to others, recognize and leverage your strengths. Imitate someone you admire who's an extrovert. Take part in some enthusiasm or hobby that has a lot of casual interaction going on around it. Take fishing, for example. You'll meet all kinds and maybe bring home dinner. Or say you might even have sex in mind, then maybe something besides fishing. Most people prefer watching sports. I prefer sports that you do instead of watch. Do you know how to go camping? If you build a fire, you trigger ancient genes that put everybody on the same level, so building a fire is not bad. Just remember, fire is dangerous. As an introvert, you never change who you are, but become more comfortable in social situations with your small group of friends. Introverts are often perceived by others like they have social anxiety. That is something different. Being an introvert means being comfortable being alone, not being anxious of being in public social situations. That's the best part. I don't face new social situations. Get out of your comfort zone. Over time, socializing will be easier and easier.